that thing will matter a lot. You have to represent yourself well about your projects and internships. Apart from that, technical questions were asked related to my internship, some basics, and also practical questions were asked related to the field of mechanical engineering. You can expect a pure technical interview as well. Although the questions in the pure technical interviews are also basics and and also some practical questions. So you can tell them that some people might ask whether you have a particular subject as your favorite subject, and they will ask questions related to that. Otherwise, you can expect a question from general fields of mechanical engineering. Well, in the second round, it was more of kind of verification round. Like there were some questions related to HR, teamwork, and all, and whether you will be able to work in a different environment, and do you have any kind of preference related to the operations or work environment. So it was more kind of a verification interview, and it lasted for around 10 to 15 minutes. Also in the second round, they put stress on my projects and internships. So those things matters a lot, and you should be very thorough with your CV. As Palkush said, every point you should give instances to support your qualities with whatever you have written in the CV. So that will help a lot. Well, that's all. Any questions? Technical questions थे. Like my work in the summer internship was related to engine testing. So most of the questions were related to IC engines, like knocking parameters and how does a test bed works. And also there were some questions related to fluid pumps and turbines are given much importance, and a few basics questions like what kind of pump will be used in a particular operation. You can expect these kind of questions. Like those are fundamental but practical. And apart from that, design, there were 2-3 questions related to design of machine elements. I designed a clamp in my Tata Motors internship, so designed a few questions. They asked a few questions related to that. So these and also attend the funda session of profs at the end of November. They will be given some funda question related to the facing the technical interviews. So those funda session helps a lot because professor will tell you what not to study. Since you have a large curriculum, large course number of courses, so you cannot become thorough with all the courses in a little amount of time. So professors will direct you that you can expect these kind of questions, and that does help a lot.
Any questions regarding Rio Tinto? I got placed in Hindustan Unilever. So it's an FMCG company, like ITC. It is the largest FMCG company in India, I guess.
No idea.
If you remove cigarettes, then yeah.
I don't know, you have worked in both, or will do work in both.
Okay, so Hindustan Unilever is, it has products range in various categories, various domains, various divisions. So the first shortlist was on the CV based shortlist, and I'll be frank, it was basically a CG wise shortlist. If you have high CG, you have a good chance of getting shortlisted for the GD round. People from a bit lower shortlist, a bit lower CG also got shortlisted because of the internships or something. But basically, it was a CG based shortlist. The second round was a GD round. It was basically a case study. And we had to discuss on the case study. Basically, it was an ethical question or ethical dilemma in the GD, and we did not reach a consensus. Basically, there was a lot of discussion, and there were basically 5 people on one side, 5 people on the other side. So there was no consensus, but we just put forward our points, and that was enough. And the next round of interviews, HUL was only open for mechanical and chemical. There were two profiles which came. One was supply chain management and one was R&D. Supply chain management was open for mechanical and chemical, R&D for chemical only. And in the final round, 10 people got 34 for GD, and then 10 got selected for the interviews in supply chain for mechanical and chemical. So the first round of interview for me was mostly on my internship, because the year stood up when they heard that I had an internship in ITC, that also in SOAP. And HUL is a strong competitor with ITC in the SOAP division. So they were very interested in my internship. Basically, they were very interested in how ITC works. Okay, what is the manufacturing line? What are the problems they face and stuff. So the first round of interviews was around 25 minutes. So first 15 minutes went in my internship, what I did, what are the problems I faced, what are the problems ITC faces, and how I solved the problem, how I approached my project and stuff. And they're also interested in why I didn't get a PPO. This time, right? ITC did not offer a single PPO from IIT Kharagpur. So they were also interested why I did not get a PPO in ITC. And after midway through the interview, that person started explaining what is expected of me in HUL supply chain, because I have no prior experience in supply chain. I had not even had a single course in supply chain. So he was explaining basically what supply chain is, and midway through the interview, I was the one who was asking questions, you were the one who was answering. Basically, I was like, sir, ITC is expanding in a big way into foods. What is HUL doing? What is HUL's future plans and all? So he started answering questions. I was asking the questions. So that became quite a unique situation. I never asked so many questions in an interview. So it was a very good discussion. Really enjoyed it. 25 minutes done. Then no technical questions at all in the first round of interviews. In the second round of interviews, it was a telephonic interview. It was with one of the people in the high management. So that basically again started off with general questions, tell me about the family and stuff. And then he asked me, what's your favorite subject? So I told thermodynamics and heat transfer. And then he started asking a few questions related to that, related to heat exchange and all. I really did not want the interview to go into technical aspects because I was not very strong in that. So I answered questions, then it went into automobiles and stuff, radiators and blah blah blah. And finally, it's okay if you don't know the answer in an interview. So after a certain point of time, I said, sir, sorry, I won't be able to answer this question. He's like, okay, fine. Then the technical interview went on for around 5 to 10 minutes. After that, again, he went into the ITC internship as well. Then basically, not ITC internship, he asked me what exactly did I do in a soap manufacturing plant, how is soap manufacturing and stuff. And then he gave me a hypothetical situation. Suppose we want to change the entire production line only. Suppose you want to manufacture in some other way. How would you approach a problem? So it was one question I never expected in an interview. So basically, I gave my thoughts, I gave my solutions. It was a very difficult question. So, and basically there was a slight discussion on that, and he told okay, and I told sir, I won't be able to answer it right now. Just give me some time. After the interview, I'll get back to you. He said, okay, fine. I never got that. It's fine. That was fine. And then there were general questions. Why HUL? Basically, why core? Again, because the first question he asked me was what are the companies he was shortlisted for. So that was a bit of a tricky question for me. And then why only HUL? And basically that also went on for around 20-25 minutes. They were basically, the feeling I got from both the interviews was that they were not basically checking a technical knowledge of the student, because the profile is also not that technical, it's supply chain management. They were checking your enthusiasm, your ability to answer questions on the spot, and the way you tackle questions, your body language. There were two people who were only staring at me during the telephone interview. Two people who had come here to do the first round interview, they were only staring at me, they were doing nothing else. So that was basically that's the feeling I got. They were not checking my technical knowledge, they were checking how I answer questions, my enthusiasm, thinking on the feet, etc. So that was basically the selection process for HUL. Again, HUL also has a form similar to ITC's, so that also you have to fill.
Very strict word limit.
Very strict word limit. It is characters. 100 characters. And I mean, it is 100 characters. It takes you 2 hours or 3 hours to fill the entire. I mean, it takes a day to fill because you don't know where to cut characters of all things. Explain your internship in 150 characters. How are you going to explain your internship in 150 characters? And basically, it's bio, you becomes you and stuff like that. That's how you get into that this thing. But it's very important. There are a few general questions also which are asked in a form. So fill the form very, very well.
Basically, for all the day one companies, your CV and the forms are very, very important. I can't emphasize more that you should have finalized your CV, all the revisions of CV by the 1st October, I would say. That's a really good time to have finished your CV. Because after that, all the consults ask for it, and then the forms of ITC and everything come out. Show it to your seniors, show it to your batchmates. The more revision it goes through, the more it refines. Then there's always the question of self-analysis, that is it really worth writing this in my CV? Always write the truth, always write only those things which you can pull off in an interview. And you can't pull off lies in an interview.
You can't. I mean, I can tell you what happened in my slums interview. That person had my CV in front of me, he kept it over here. And every line he gave me. And after every line was over, he used to underline it or tick it. So by the end of that 40-minute interview, there was a line under every point of mine, the CV. They went through every point.
And that's applicable for all the interviews I appeared in, even consults that I appeared in. Most of them, they go through your CV completely from top to ground. They don't glance to it, they go through it. They glance to it while shortlisting. While interviewing, they go through it, every sentence. If they find that something is where you might take some damage, they'll push towards that point.
And another thing
we write technical skills, then do they ask the question from technical skills?
So really ask yourself, is technical skills required in your CV? Is it something which is your USP? Is it something which you've really reached a proficiency level that you can get a job based on that?
I did not write it.
Even I would not write it. If I know some software, I will write that I use that software in that project and that project.
Exactly. Another thing is that you don't need to write hundreds of things in a CV. 3-4 the best things, the things you best did. I mean, the things which are your USP. Emphasize on those because you want a conversation to go towards that, right? Instead of writing 100 things, they can ask any one out of those 100 things. Write 5-6 important things which you know will help you, which you're good at, which hold your qualities. So write those, emphasize on those. Another thing in CV is that the amount of space you give to a particular point is shows the importance of that point. Basically, if my ITC internship had 5 lines in the CV and the rest of the internship had 3 lines, that shows that my importance was I gave more importance to ITC. So I was expecting more questions from that.
Also in your CV, like your most engaging thing for the last 4 years or 5 years have been your academics, right? So you will be asked, a considerable amount of space should be there on your academic achievements. If they aren't any, then don't cook up from your school days that I was school topper for 7 or 8 years continuous. That's not going to help you a lot. Try writing more about your academic projects then. You have to show your academics, if not in terms of CV or CG or scholarships, then in terms of academic projects. There is no option. In these companies at least, they are given a lot of importance.
It actually does not matter how many projects with which you fill your CV. Does not matter. Let me tell you this. I have seen many CVs of my friends, of my juniors, which are filled with all sorts of things. Starting from the whole range of hall events to say your acads. I also seen CVs which is like 9.5 and interval, dramatic and this and that. When I as an interviewer see your CV filled with all those things, I know that you will not have that much amount of time to invest in each of these. It totally does not matter. You don't have to show them that no, I can do all these things simultaneously. No, you cannot. He would know it.
You had in his internship itself, he had 3 projects. You had total of 7 or 8 projects. I saw your initial CV, and he wrote just 2 out of that in one big CV. That's how it should be. The only 2 most important projects which you consider are your best.
You guys now by now.
Okay, I mean it is preferable if you have a single one page. It's preferable. There are people, my friends who had, made a 3-page CV, with all details, everything. Now who's going to go through that 3-page CV?
Even for consults, the BCG guys will tell you that we don't mind 2-page CVs, but unless it's justified, don't make a 2-page.
What they look in extra cats?
Huh?
Extra cats.
Extra cats, they just glance through, okay, you have done some extra cats, that's it.
Until and unless you have a...
Until and unless in Rio Tinto, if you are asked some managerial question and you are the captain of some extra academy, then you can give instances from that experience.
Teamwork and collaboration are important aspects in Rio Tinto.
Otherwise, they don't really judge you on extra cats.
Until and unless you are a national level player or something. Then that shows all-round development personality.
And you have really excelled in
Really
hunting a
excelled in
lot.
something.
Winning an open IT event is not a very, very good achievement.
But yeah, extra catch helps, definitely. It shows that you are interested in different aspects of life, not only academics only, but it helps, definitely helps.
It can be a conversation maker when the interviewer or you gets bored.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
That happens a lot.
He keeps asking you more about your extra cat so that the conversation becomes more interesting. And it's always necessary that you should speak, if not more than as much as the interviewer. You should not give single syllable answers and just keep quiet and go with your face. At least in IT's interview, try asserting yourself and your questions, your answers.
Any interview. And another very important aspect is in an interview, just be enthusiastic. Show that you're interested in the company. Don't sit back, laid back, stuff like that. You have to be very, very alert. You have to be very, very enthusiastic and smile or whatever. Just make the atmosphere a bit light as much as possible. I was smiling through my entire slump interview. I don't know what happened to me, but I was smiling through the entire slump interview.
Same here. There were 8 or 9 people and they even asked me. It was a very funny interview, the
Very,
experience.
very weird interview. Funny weird interview, whatever.
See, by this time, you guys should have a very good idea of what companies come and which. This is the 3rd day, I guess, right? And what questions do each of these companies ask in an interview? I think the toughest part is getting through the GD. That is the most arbit part. Slumberger was one. Okay, you can get any topic. What is your topic?
Lollipop.
Okay. See, our topic
Mine was
was boss, then verbose.
Then verbose.
Something you get some guys get a box.
Sujat, they have had a session on slumbers. Okay.
Yeah, they have.
Yes, you should have.
It's
Who's there? Who was there? Oh, okay.
It's the most arbitrary GD I have ever gone.
I agree that their first round of interview was very
5
hard.
GDs.
But the second round of interview was really very good.
Yeah.
In the first round of interview, they were just judging people who can just push through a crowd and shine. That's it. If you are really a person who can't stop blabbering, then you will get through. It was that kind of hard.
That was for slumbers.
Slumber. Only slumber. Nothing else.
Yeah.
You can keep saying anything you want, People were drifting from Bose, in our case from Bose to the scientist Bose to Bhag Bhag DK Bose to everything else. And if you just say enough, then you're through. They just see that you're making...
We went to Bengali culture.
Bengali culture.
Bose is a very important surname among
We
Bengali.
went to Bose speakers.
Then connect the music and the Bengali culture and do all sorts of...
So I think we just had fun, basically.
Yeah.
And
It was very weird.
There was another topic called boom. So it started with a explosion boom till Katrina's movie boom. Okay. Everything got covered in 10 minutes.
So they want to see that how well spoken you are. If you can speak, if a lot of people are speaking, then your spoken word shines somewhere. So that you are given a number and they just write down that number. And they do GDs in herds, so you won't even know when you will be pushed inside that room and when you will come out and you will realize what was that.
Slum video was only 5 decibel.
Nothing else. And the second round of group activity was actually very nice.
It is good.
They asked us to assemble and disassemble a car from a mechanic's kit. So they really wanted to see that how you work in a limited time with a group. So we were smart enough to divide our work beforehand. We divided that I'll make the chassis, you make this, I'll make the spoiler and everything. And in last moment, we somehow bolted the parts and our car looked like a car.
The last 30 seconds we had like 5, 6 different parts, and I don't know last 30 seconds what we did.
We were in the same group, right?
Yeah, we were in the same group.
It was really good. For me, it was a very good experience because 5 out of 6 or 4 out of 6 people from our group got the final award.
Basically, he made most of the car.
Nahin, there was But it was really fun. I really think that you can judge someone a lot from that because it actually shows your engagement in a group. If you are actually actively taking part, because that's a moment of chaos. In 10 minutes, what can you do? You have to see the design, you have to see the parts, which part goes where. So you have to really organize.
And we'll have boards like
very small
boards and 4 hands fiddling with it. So
Finally, we did 40 balls.
He's just crossed that he has made 4 actual cars, but he could not make a small car.
So I did not get to the second round of Tamil
because he did not make a car when it was
because I did not touch the board. What you? How many 4th year dual degree guys? Or 3rd year BTech guys here? 3rd year dual degree. So you have a lot of time.
You will forget about all the.
Yes. So what I would suggest to you guys is how many of you applied for that ISB thing? No one. ISB. No, not she. The others are pre-final year students are allowed. No one? ISB YLP program. There's a program.
No one applied.
No, actually see, there are a couple of essays or actually 5 of them that you have to write in that throughout that application process. That helps you a lot. Helps you think what you want to do. Like if someone asks you, write down, put it in paper, what do you want to do? So obviously you got to think about it. What do you have to do? Do you have to go to a finance? What do you want to go to a finance company? Do you want to go to a consult company? Most of it is like in Capital One, and I think Palkush, we did not submit our CVs for Capital One. We did not want to go into a finance company. I gave the test, but I did not give the CV. Okay. So you should be.
Yeah, that was the first test we had. So I gave it just in Cap 1, and after that I didn't even give CV in DB, all other finance companies, because I was here. I don't want to do that. So it's better if you concentrate on fewer companies than more. Generally better.
You need to make a checklist before your placement start out. These are the companies.
And that ISP thing helped a lot because it helped us shape our ITC form answers, HUL form answers. All were expected.
Many of the answers are a subset of the whole essay. So what qualities would you bring? Something like that. What qualities? Why are you special? I still remember that there's a guy, Mr. Rangraj. He was the CEO of this ITC some division. Huh? Yeah. So what he asked me is he had a book in hand, and on the book it was written a rare find, and he asked me, how are you this? I'm like, what sir? Look this. So then explain. So then you start like what are the good, the bad qualities in you. He'll ask you. There are a lot of things. He also asked me about your where did you live all these years? Where do your parents live? Where does your father work? Where is your sister working? Everything about your family, about what projects you have done, about your academics. One thing that Palkush said, your extra acads. See, academic projects are very important. And mind you, your extra acads, even if it is 2-page long, will not make up for your academics. You have come to study here at the end of the day, and you should be good at it, decent at it. So if you don't have say an 8.5 CGPA, okay, or even a 9 CGPA, you must say you should be content with say 7.5. Then even if you have 7.5, you have academic projects to back up your skill in say other academic pursuits. So something of that sort, some project that you've done.
And don't try to justify your bad performance with your extra.
No, yeah.
Because in my case, the 6.96 encircled was again asked that how do you explain that? So I just said that there is no explanation for it. And I screwed up. That's what I said. Exactly these 3 words. There is no explanation. I can't explain it in terms of my hall activities, my robotics.
Because that was 3rd semester. That was 3rd semester. 6.96. I had 6.91. So both of us were 6 points in that 6th grade, and both of our CGs are like now were 8 at the placement time. So the best answer that you could give is, yes sir, I screwed up. I tried to make up for it.
In the last
That is the
session.
the last quarter.
But don't try to justify it. No, sir.
Sir, I was doing all
I was
those
feeling
things.
sick all the time. And all these things don't help.
Okay.
OP and all these
It
things
is a-
will never help.
Kharagpur
Don't try to
doesn't
justify
understand.
your bad performance.